Imagine two guys started going to gym at the same time. Their body weight, workout program, genetics, almost everything is same. There is only one difference. First guy is told that he don't have to bulk and he just eat maintenance calories and he will automatically gain muscle and lose fat simultaneously. Second guy is told to eat in a small calorie surplus so his hormones and body have little more amount of food to work with. What do you think the result will be after 5 to 6 months? First guy eating maintenance will have less muscles but they are more defined with less amount of fat. Second guy eating slight surplus will have more muscles but there is little amount of fat covering it. If he is keeping the surplus small, the fat won't be that much. So let's say we put the second guy who was doing the lean bulk in 2 months of cut where he eat in a slight deficit while the first guy is still eating maintenance. Who will have more muscles after 2 months with almost equal amount of body fat percentage? I can guarantee you that it will be the second guy who ate in calorie surplus for 5 to 6 months, and I will give you scientific explanation that why did this happen and why so many of big bodybuilders still use bulk and cut approach, and gaintaining is not that practical if you are looking to hit your genetic potential. The thing most of people fail to understand is that gaining muscles and losing fat are two opposite things, and you can't push two opposite goals at once. Either your body have extra calories so it will focus on making some mass, both muscles and fat depending on the size of your surplus, or it will have so less calories that it have to use fat or muscles from your body as energy source, again depending on the size of your deficit. Gaintaining may work in beginners or detrained individuals, but once the noob gains phase is over, the progress will be too slow that it's not worth it. To build muscles, you need extra energy for muscle protein synthesis, which typically thrive in calorie surplus. In maintenance, your body is just in survival mode. You are only giving enough food to your body that it only have energy for normal everyday tasks. For gaining healthy size, gaintaining is slow, inefficient, and not recommended by most of the experts in the field. Another problem with gaintaining is that you can't be sure whether you are eating your actual maintenance or not. It's a guessing game and it will change as you build more muscles because muscles burn more calories at rest than fat. So it's a possibility that you think you are eating your maintenance calories while you are actually in deficit, and staying too long in deficit will harm your hormones. It can drop testosterone levels, leading to low libido in men and menstrual problems in women. The body may break down muscle tissue, decreasing overall strength and reducing lean body mass. Nutritional deficiencies can occur and your immune system will also be suppressed. Each additional pound of muscle you will gain will increase your calories requirement by 6 to 12 calories. So after 5 pounds of muscle gain, it will be 25 to 60 calories a day that you burn extra, and when you are consistently training for months, it can go up to 200 to 300 calories, which can easily turn a maintenance calories into deficit. And when you get stronger, you usually train more harder and energetically, which also affect calories requirement. It's not only that, but there are other daily factors apart from body composition that do affect your calories requirement. Poor sleep can drop the expenditure from 5 to 20%. Stress, hormones, temperature, illness, and there are many other factors that can affect your caloric need. The calculators and methods online are not that great and you can't be sure whether you are eating your actual maintenance or not. This is another reason to go in a surplus or deficit, to be on the safer side, as it's a guessing game to an extent and you control a very small part of it. If you try to be precise with maintenance calories, then it's impossible, because a normal day might burn 2800 calories, but a high stress, low sleep day could drop to 2500 to 2600 calories, while a great training and recovery day hits 3000 plus. That's plus or minus 200 to 400 calories, which is huge difference. The end point is that it's hard to be in true maintenance. Now there is also an issue of people losing motivation in gaintaining. Humans crave quick, tangible feedbacks, dopamine from seeing the scale drop, clothes loosen, or compliments roll in, and it affects the time period of consistency. Now when you are in surplus, you will see needle on your weight scale moving upwards, and if you are in deficit or cut, you will see visible changes in short amount of time, and it will keep your motivation high when you are seeing visible results. If you used to be a skinny dude, you might see some mass on your body and be happy with it, and if you were fat, you will see yourself losing weight, improving health markers, and being happy. These things will help you track better and stay consistent with the process, but in gaintaining, the results are slow and you won't see any numbers going up or down as fast. It will take a lot of time and you may lose interest in that time. Photos don't show dramatic before after effect in short time frames, which makes it easy to think that nothing's happening. Why bother? In a proper cut, fat loss can be 0.5 to 1% body weight per week, which results noticeable definition in 4 to 8 weeks. In a bulk, muscles plus some fat adds visible size, fullness quickly. In gaintaining, combined rate is much slower, muscle additions are tiny month to month, and fat loss is dialed back to avoid muscle sacrifice. Now there's another issue. There are 3 major pillars of gaining muscles: working out, eating good, and recovery. As you know that recovery is an energy expensive process. Resistance training creates micro tears in your muscles and your body needs calories for recovery of it. In a surplus, even a modest one, 200 to 500 calories above your maintenance, your body senses that there is energy abundance and think that it can afford afford to allocate more resources to less preferred processes from survival point of view, like accelerated muscle repair, higher muscle protein synthesis rates over 24 to 48 hours post-workout, and better glycogen replenishment without pulling from other systems. At maintenance, energy is precisely matched to expenditure. There is no excess calories, so your body must save more of it, thinking that it does not have enough. It may not prioritize full speed recovery of muscles after training, which can lead to slower glycogen restoration, slightly blunted muscle protein synthesis peaks, and longer inflammation resolution. Your body will still carry out the recovery procedure, but the process will not be much efficient and more like bare minimum to just do the job. When you are in surplus, higher insulin sensitivity and nutrient partitioning favor muscle growth over fat storage. Leptin, which is a hormone that gives you a feeling of fullness, stays elevated, which gives your body signals that there is plenty of energy. Testosterone levels are much better. Thyroid function, which regulates your body's metabolism, energy use, heart rate, temperature, growth, and development, works better in calorie surplus. In short, it creates an environment that is ideal for your body to grow more muscles and work efficiently. On the other hand, maintenance can feel more neutral or even slightly catabolic under stress. If training volume and intensity is high, energy availability drops, which will cause subtle drops in testosterone and IGF-1, which is a hormone that handle tissue growth, bone development, and muscle synthesis. There will be mild cortisol elevation and reduced thyroid output over time. This isn't as severe as a deficit, but it's enough to make sessions feel harder to recover from. Strength will stall sooner and cause fatigue or soreness. There are some visual signs that you can use to determine if your recovery is good or not. If workouts feel flatter or strength does not progress week to week, soreness lingers 1 to 2 extra days, sleep quality or energy for daily life goes down slightly, harder to push progressive overload consistently, and stuck with same weight for quite some time. If you are advanced lifter with lower body fat and years of training, this gap widens. Your body has less room than a beginner who can decomp easily. Now there is my personal opinion and what I have observed in my friends or people following Gaintaining idea. I think that maintenance feels safe. Many people use Gaintaining as an excuse to avoid disciplined phases, as you have to shift your strategy in bulk and cut often to make the process more efficient. Some people just don't want it and they want to create one plan or strategy, aka Gaintaining in this scenario, and just go with it. I will say they are lazy because they are not giving enough effort or time to strategize, cut and bulk properly. It becomes the default for some people to avoid the discomfort of structured, disciplined phases like proper bulking or cutting. There is no emotional roller coaster in Gaintaining as compared to cut and bulk approach. Bulking means accepting temporary fat gain, tighter cloths, and accepting that you won't be looking peak shredded for some time. On the other hand, cutting means lower energy, social sacrifices, and watching strength going down. Compared to these, maintenance do feel safe, but it's not ideal if you truly want to see your peak. To see what you could have achieved and reaching your true genetic potential, you must suffer a period of times with little uncomfortable amount of fat on your body. There is another factor of decision fatigue, as our mind prefer to make as less of decisions as possible in a day to preserve energy. Now in maintenance, decision fatigue do play a role, as you just have to create one plan and stick to it. The default brain system wants you to act this way. It told you that there is no need to periodize calories, recalculate total daily energy expenditure every few months, decide when to switch phases. It sounds simple and gain attention of people who are busy in their lives and don't have much time, and I get that. It is hard. Proper bulking and cutting phases do require a lot of planning. 4 to 6 month bulk with controlled surplus. It's not like you can just go and eat anything. The surplus have to be precise and small, which is not as easy as it may sound. Tracking everything, adjusting weekly, then a focused cut deficit with cardio, and then there are refeeds, where you have to give your metabolism a little rest. It demands discipline, patience through discomfort, and willingness to look worse temporarily for long-term gains. Some people intellectually know that bulking and cutting gives you faster, better results, more muscles overall, better definition eventually, but they can't handle the emotional weight of commitment. There is also a fear of failure, like what if I get too fat and will not be able to cut it off, which actually do happens if you are just mindlessly overeating and not tracking anything, aka aggressive bulking. It's not an ideal approach, as small surplus are much better and there is no extra gains from bigger surpluses anyway. You will gain more fat and equal muscles in both scenarios. So apart from laziness, there is fear factor involved too. Now there are some scenarios I want to discuss where Gaintaining may work, but even in those scenarios, strategized bulk and cut will work much better. If you put in a little mental effort, you will see good results even with Gaintaining in those scenarios. Number one scenario, which is obvious and I have already talked about it. If you are a beginner, you will still see results with Gaintaining. The thing is that when you are detrained or beginner, no matter what approach you take or what you do, you will gain muscles. This is a phase where you have too much untapped potential that you just started to explore. I have seen guys with worse diets and workout programs that are invited tied to injuries, making progress as beginners. Now, what's the reason behind it? Why does it happen? The biggest early driver of gains or strength is neural adaptation, which means your nervous system is getting better at using muscles you were not using as hardly before. Most strength gains in the first 4 to 12 weeks are not even real muscle growth. It's your nervous system getting way better at using the muscles that you already have. After a few sessions, your brain learns to recruit more fibers, synchronize them better, and fire them faster and harder, which results in massive jumps in strength. This is the phase when you go from struggling with the empty bar to adding 20 to 40 kg on squats in months. This happens with almost any progressive resistance training, even crappy form, low volume, or random row splits, because the baseline is low. Now let me tell you another interesting thing. In trained lifters, a workout spikes muscle protein synthesis by 50 to 100% for 24 to 36 hours. In complete beginners, the same stimulus can spike muscle protein synthesis by 150 to 200% plus and keep it elevated for 48 to 72 hours and sometimes even longer. Your untrained muscles are hypersensitive to mechanical tension, metabolic stress, and damage signals, and in result, they ramp up repair and growth aggressively. Everyone has a genetic ceiling for muscle mass. Beginners start miles away from it. Often with zero training history, the further you are from your limit, the faster you will close the gap. Other scenario where gaintaining might work, but I still think a slight deficit will be a much better approach, is in obese or fat people. When you are above 30% body fat percentage, your body is holding a lot of energy in form of fat tissues. Thousands of calories even in moderately overweight people, and tens of thousands of calories in obese individuals. When you start resistance training, your body needs extra energy for muscle repair, glycogen replenishment, and building new tissues. At maintenance calories or even a small deficit, your body taps into fat stores to cover that extra demand, essentially creating an internal surplus from fat while keeping external intake neutral. Now I think that slight deficit will work much better, but even gaintaining is still better than nothing, and you will see results even with gaintaining. There are many other scenarios where gaintaining may work, but I think it's not worth discussing because in each of these scenarios, a bulk and cut is more efficient. And if you are an advanced lifter, then gaintaining is just a waste of time for you. You need extra calories to further expand your potential of gaining muscles. Muscle building thrives in a surplus, even a small one, 200 to 500 calories, where insulin, IGF-1, testosterone, and recovery are optimized, allowing harder training, better pumps, and faster adaptation. At maintenance, your body is in equilibrium, focusing on energy in and energy out. It prioritizes survival, maintenance, our luxury process like adding new muscle fibers. To sum it all up, it's a low risk, low reward situation. That's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and as always, eat well, sleep better, and move more.